Hi pre-K kids, we're back to whales and salmon. I hope you had fun with all of those activities that I laid out for you. Remember, orca whales have teeth and they're meat eaters and they eat salmon. Now we're going to learn about the other kinds of whales, whales that don't have teeth. For example, a humpback whale. This is what, I have a picture from last year. This is what the baleen looks like. One of my students, Mason, last year brought in a piece of baleen that he'd found on the beach. See, it starts from here, goes all the way out to here. And it feels kind of like a bone or rigid material. And this is the whole jaw. This comes from the whole jaw of the whale. And you can see these fine hairs hanging down. Maybe you can't see them because they've kind of dropped off over the years, but all these fine strings hang down. I don't know, they're maybe 1 or 2 feet long. They hang down all along here, and it's on the top part of the whale's mouth. And what they do to eat, they eat zooplankton and phytoplankton, which is really little microscopic animals, and they can also eat tiny little fish called krill. What they do is they suck in the water, they suck in the phytoplankton, and food gets caught in the baleen. Then they can eat it, and then they push the water back out of their mouth. But they filter the food out with this baleen, and it kind of looks like a broom. So I wanted to show you what the real baleen looked like from the whale. But here's a brush that I had in my closet. This is what the baleen looks like. It's stiff like the brush, and you can see there's lots of spaces in the brush. So when the whale sucks water in through here, the little food gets caught in here, and then they eat it, swallow it, and digest it, and then they rinse out their baleen as they push water back out of their mouth. So they have to eat a lot. Humpback whales are big. So they just eat all day long and filter food in and out of the baleen. So there's 2 types of plankton that the whales eat. It's called zooplankton or phytoplankton. And you can see the word plankton is in both words. Plankton, and that just means it's a scientific word for food for whales, I guess, and other animals. But zooplankton, or zoo, it spells Z-O-O, that means that the plankton is a living animal. Zooplankton is a little animal. It's a microscopic animal. Phyto, like photosynthesis, phyto means plant. These are little microscopic plants that the whales can eat for nutrition. So zooplankton and phytoplankton. When we were going to go down to Padilla Bay, I was going to get a sample out of the bay. We were going to bring it home back to the classroom and look under our powerful microscope. But because we can't do that, I'm sorry to say, we're going to just have to look at pictures. So here's a picture of a whole bunch of different kinds of phytoplankton. These are all little plants. They come in circles, they come in long chains, and they take in sunlight and do photosynthesis and make nutrients for the whales. But they're all different kinds of shapes and sizes. At first look, you might think they're a germ or a bacteria, but these are really phytoplankton that live out in the ocean waters. So that's the plants, and under a microscope, this is what it would look like under a microscope. You'd be able to see the chains and the circles and all the little dots and things like that. Zooplankton are actually little animals, and they're kind of funny looking too. This happens to be a copepod. 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 These are all over out in the estuary and out in the ocean. And they're the most abundant form of zooplankton that gets eaten by the whales. They're kind of funny looking. They look like some of those characters on SpongeBob SquarePants, don't they? Anyway, if you check your email, I sent this picture to your folks on their email, and you can color these copepods and you can read about it. And here's all the different shapes of different kinds of copepods. They're kind of funny looking characters that you might see in the cartoons. I also sent you a worksheet on copepod babies. These are copepod babies. All different shapes. So you can cover these too if you like. I just think they're kind of cool looking, and they're even cooler under the microscope. So that's all for now. Can you imagine that all these little microscopic animals keep a big humpback whale alive? Pretty cool, isn't it? See you later.